Hi, everybody. Josiah Gilliam here, Executive Director at Pump, and we're thrilled today to have the chance to have a special conversation with this year's beneficiary for Kickball for a Cause. Kickball for a Cause, for those that don't know, is a yearly signature event that we do at Pump. The way it works is organizations self-nominate themselves, and we put out a list to a community vote. The organization that gets the most votes is the cause. Sometimes there are two. This year, there's just one, and we're thrilled to welcome One Day to Remember as this year's beneficiary. They'll be with us at Kickball for a Cause on August 8th in Mellon Park, but we're really excited to just have a chance to talk with them about their history, about their impact, about the team, and all of that. So without further ado, we'll do some introductions, starting with the founder and executive director, Rachel. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having us. It's a true honor to have been chosen for the beneficiary this year. This organization means a lot to us. The Kickball is just down the street from my house, so I'm really excited to have it so close.
It's convenient.
But no, it's really meaningful to have been chosen for this for a variety of reasons. But thank you for having us.
Thrilled to have you. So let's introduce your team, and then we'll dive into the kind of the history and stuff. Who do we have with us today?
So this is Kate, and she does our social media and family communication. And this is Jordan, who does all of our outing planning for our families.
Every single one.
Every single one.
Yeah.
A small but mighty team.
Yeah.
Small but mighty
We
team.
have more,
The
too.
mightiest team of
Yes.
ladies.
We love it.
Yes.
So, let's talk about the history, Rachel. Where did this idea come about? What's the story there?
So my background is in oncology nursing. I was watching our young patients struggle to find some quality time outside of treatments and side effects, and decided that I wanted to do something about it. There was a single mom. Her name was Jenna, and I think her daughter Bree was maybe 7 at the time, and she just wanted to do something with her. For those that have been fortunate enough to not have cancer in their lives or their peripheral lives, it really takes away a lot of your financial and physical and mental capacity to do a lot of things. So I decided that I wanted to start this organization, and could I plan something for them? So they got their hair and their nails and their makeup done at a spa. They took pictures together in the park, and then their favorite food was pizza. So a friend of mine owned a pizza shop at the time, and they hand pulled fresh mozzarella, and they got to make pizza, and they had this great day together. Jenna passed away about a year and a half after that. And so Bree has grown up without her mom, but she has these beautiful memories together that we created. And so that was sort of how the organization began. I was pregnant with my son, who's about to be 10, and thought that was a good time to start a nonprofit, but it's they've grown up together.
Yeah.
And we started with about 7 outings that year. Last year we completed 232.
Wow.
So it's been a beautiful and tragic, as Jordan says, beautiful and
Yes.
tragic experience.
Deeply meaningful
To the
work.
max.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
What do you guys hear in that story? What else would you add to that?
I've heard that story a lot, and it's one of my favorite stories, and I love to tell everyone. But then recently I found out that she went to Barnes & Noble and got a book about nonprofits and just read it cover to cover, and then here we are. Like, I don't know. I thought that was cool too.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Pregnant with her son. She's like, and it was out of her own pocket, all of it. And then there you go. 10 years later, here we are.
Here we are.
Through COVID and everything.
COVID was scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What an era. So yeah, Rachel, so you had this idea to show up in the lives of this one family. Walk us through the decision making of let's do this full time. Let's make this an organization.
Yeah, I think that, I know that there's a lot of cancer in the world. There's a lot of cancer in our community, unfortunately. And there's a lot of those families who are parenting young children. And so I wanted to give them an opportunity that felt like it was an escape, a day off. Everybody needs a break at some point. And so even if it was just for one day, I felt like I could really make an impact on a small scale for these families who were going through so much. So I started small, and I was by myself for a long, long time. I'm very fortunate to now have a team of, there's 8 of us, 8 women
Yep.
on our team that not everybody's full-time, actually. Just you maybe now.
But I'm part-time.
We have part-time, mostly
Quotation marks.
part-time. But, we get to make an impact and we get to really talk about how we continue to show up for these families and support them because it's really a dark place to be.
Hmm.
Um, Thinking about what the future looks like or lack thereof and what that means for you, for your spouse, for your children. And so to be able to give them a break or a moment outside of that reality feels like such a blessing.
Yeah. So where were you? What hospital were you at when you started One Day to Remember?
I was working at the Hillman Cancer Center,
Hmm.
and I started in treatment there, and then I worked for a physician in his clinic, and I helped manage his clinic, and I got to know a lot of our patients that way, really intimately, and we talked about a lot of things and different ways to support. I think my background and my passion is really in patient advocacy, and I always found myself in those situations of trying to advocate for patients in whatever scenario it was, whether it was their port was infected and nobody was talking about it, or they needed a day off, or they needed the hospital. I used to get all the nurses together and we used to adopt a family for Christmas. Like I would go find that family who really looked like they could use a break that year. And I wish we could do it for more people and now we can. So I
Yeah.
feel really um, grateful that the community has been such a important part of the growth of this organization, which allows us to help more families.
And what about the footprint now? Is it all through the UPMC Hillman Cancer Center? Are you guys regional, right? Or
We're actually
National.
national.
right?
We help families on a national scale. Our base is here in Pittsburgh. Our communities here in Pittsburgh, our marketing efforts and base is
Mhm.
here.
Yeah.
But there are families across the US that reach out to us and we help
Yep.
wherever we can.
That started in 2022.
About 2022, we started accepting some families, like a few here and there.
Yeah.
Um, but the growth has been completely word of mouth. Like everything that we do on our social media side has allowed us to find more families. People who have this experience go and talk about it.
Mhm.
It always shocks me that I always think we see these people in their darkest times and then I hear from families after their spouse passes away or their parent passes away, and I'm like, "How could we be one of the first people that you call to let us know?" But we really make such an impact on a lot of people, because of the work that we do and the support that we get to give them. Um, it every time it surprises me, and, it feels like an honor.
I mean, even just 10 years ago, patient centered care wasn't on the table.
Mm.
If you got diagnosed with late stage cancer, they wanted to cure you. That's all they were worried about. Rightfully so. But there's financial burdens, there's mental health burdens. So as that conversation grew, that it's not just a patient, it's a person. Um, I feel like it's just been so amazing for us as an organization to be there in the thick of it and bringing awareness to that conversation that what we do does really matter in their lives.
Yeah. And has there been a shift in that respect? Is there greater awareness? Is there kind of a growing orientation around the concept of the person?
We'd like to think so.
Yeah.
We're all about
Yeah.
the person.
We're all about the
Yeah.
person,
Yeah.
I mean, all of us in this room, I think, would love to cure cancer and have no one have to
Right.
go through that ever again,
Sure.
knowing that that's probably not a realistic goal, to support these people as
And their
people and
kids.
Right.
families, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the whole thing is that cancer doesn't just affect the patient who's going through chemo and going through treatment or surgery or whatever the case may be. It affects the entire
I
family.
mean, kids are more anxious. They can get depressed.
Right.
They can, a lot of things affect children who have a parent with cancer.
For sure. So over 200 last year alone.
Mhm.
Tell us about how that works. How do you engage with not just the patient but the family to put on these experiences?
We brainstorm a lot with our families. We ask them if there's anything that they've wanted to do but haven't been able to do since their diagnosis. We really push them to think about things that would be meaningful and memorable.
They get to choose. We don't fly anybody anywhere, but if we try to stay within 2 hours of where they live, and if they don't, we will do a hotel. And we just try to say yes as much as possible. And Rachel's talked about our community, and we can't say yes without our community. And just so generous and amazing. And people like you, we appreciate you so much. And thank you. And thank you for all of your supporters and everyone who voted for us. We can't do it without you. So
Jordan's also being very humble. I mean, she will, obviously she talks to the families, gives them ideas of things that they can do. But then if there's something that the family wants to do, if they want to go to a concert or they want to go to a sports place or if they want to go to a zoo, like Jordan's not just planning a day. She is going through it like experience by experience and seeing how she can level up each time because she wants to make sure that that day isn't just like we went to a Pirates game. Oh no, we met Connor Griffin.
that's Rachel.
Played on, well, still, but
Yes.
we
Thank
got to go on the field.
Yeah.
We, didn't have to worry about food. Like Jordan makes it happen.
Right.
We
It's not just a
appreciate-
check the box experience.
Right.
Oh, no.
It's putting on, a wonderful experience for this person, their family, all of that.
Anything that we can have a community partner with allows us to help the next family even more. So
Right.
community partnerships are so important for us. As a very small, really small nonprofit organization, it's allowed us to have a bigger bottom line because of the community partnerships that we've had.
Mm.
So I will say it until I'm blue in the face. Like I am beyond grateful for every single person who has been in our village. They always say it takes a village. Like we have so many people in our village to make these outings possible. And we wouldn't be able to do it without the support of those community partners. But I think it's funny. I'm glad you said that Jordan was being modest because she really does. She makes everything
Yeah.
work. And people are busy and they have a lot. They have so much going on.
With. Yeah.
And
the
so,
worst.
we obviously don't want to be a burden, but we want to make sure that they get this experience because they deserve it.
Mhm.
And they deserve a break.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it sounds like it as frictionless as it can be for
Oh,
them.
yeah. Worry and
Yeah.
cost free is our thing. So
Worry and cost free.
I mean,
Both
somebody
worry
even
and
was like,
cost-free.
yeah, she's like, oh, you got me parking. I didn't even think about parking, but that's
Right.
just what we do. It's part of
Yeah.
the deal. We pay for gas, we ahead of time and all sorts of things. Anything you can think of.
We want it
trying
to
to-
be turnkey for them, right?
Mhm.
Like they have enough to worry about on a day-to-day basis. The idea is that they get to show up. They don't have to plan anything. I mean,
Yeah.
for any of the people listening that have children, the thought of getting out of the house with your children sometimes is overwhelming in itself, let alone planning an experience.
Yeah.
And
As a healthy person.
as a healthy
too,
person, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
like, or being, or not, even if you're the healthy person, but also caretaking for the sick parent,
Sure.
right? Your sick partner, being a caretaker for not only your children, but also for the spouse that is sick. That's a big weight to carry. And so this experience is supposed to be effortless. And we really work hard
Mhm.
to make that happen.
It's great. Well, it feels like a good place to segue to talk do a little bit of a deeper dive there. And you've brought extra team members. One Day to Remember brought a whole team today. And so we're really excited to have a chance to talk with former recipients and current team members about the work and the impact that One Day to Remember has had in their lives and in our community. So Rachel, let's go through introductions and talk all about it.
Yeah, so you met Kate earlier, but we're really excited to have Lori here, whose family had an outing in 2024. And Lori recently joined our team. So I want to say hi.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
I'm thrilled to
And
have
on
you.
the team. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for
glad to
being
be
here.
here.
Tell us, first of all, it's such an honor to have you on our team. But tell us about your family's experience and
Our
what
little
that meant.
origin story.
Yes,
as,
your
as
origin
Mike
origin
likes to
story.
say.
We
Yeah,
love a
Mike
good
likes to say
origin story.
our origin story. So late night scrolling in 2024. First, let me back up. Mike was diagnosed with colon cancer in 2020, May 2020.
How old was he?
He was 36 at the time.
Mhm.
So huge advocate in colonoscopies. And it was during the pandemic. super random. I also found out a week later that I was pregnant with our third little boy.
Mm.
So it was a lot. And he was in stage 4 right away. It was stage 3. And then went through chemo. It came back, and that's when he hit stage 4, if you will. And about a year later, I was late night scrolling because you don't sleep well, and came across Instagram one day to remember, and I was the one that applied for us. And I'm fairly certain it was the next day or two that they had reached out and had said, we'd like to, give you an outing. Where do you want to go? And I was one of those people that was like, the zoo. And
Yeah.
at the time, Mike was in the hospital. So I couldn't double check with him that all of that was something he'd want to do, but he loved the zoo and we'd never taken the boys. So it felt like the perfect time.
Mm.
And then, they provided us with the photographer, Corinne, who's now a dear friend, a very, very close friend. And the gas money, which was a huge weight off of us. And a nice story that we like to tell is I was close. As the care person, you plan everything. And it's very difficult. And Mike used to say too, checking the mail becomes daunting because it's always a bill. It's always sad. Answering the phone, it's always a collector or the hospital. And, for one day, I didn't have to decide anything. I didn't have to plan anything. The boys, they send funds for stuffed animals that normally, as a middle class 2-income family, we didn't have the funds for. 3 stuffed animals for our kids. We have 3 boys, William, Redding, and Mikey. And, you just don't have the extra funds for that kind of stuff in our position. And to get to say yes to things that day, like the slushies, it's always a big thing because they love slushies. And we got them the big ones that day. And, they still sleep with the stuffed animals from that zoo trip. And it gave me a day where I didn't have to do anything. And we talk about it so often. People say, like, it's a day, it's the zoo. It's such a big deal. It's still such a big deal to my kids. Mike passed away in February. Sorry. So to still talk about, that trip, like the kids do, and they genuinely do. We just went to the zoo for the first time since that day a couple months ago, and they were laughing about, oh, remember when we were with Dad and the elephant pooped? And I was like, yeah, I remember. And we got to bathe elephants and go behind the scenes on a few animals and just things that still, without Mike, my kids laugh at and smile at and get sad. But that day was so joyful for us. So to have those memories still, it I can't explain it other than to thank them, and now I get to be a part of it, and it's
Yeah.
really, really rewarding.
We appreciate you sharing so much. We do have tissues right next to you.
There he is.
Yeah, I would love to know. Obviously, the impact is clear. But for you, like, what made you decide to get involved yourself, right? To spend time doing it.
Mike spoke. Rachel asked us to speak at One Bite One Day, which is coming up October 8th.
Yes, we'll
Get your
talk
tickets.
about all that. Yeah.
Sponsor us. I'm just saying. And they asked him to speak our year of being a recipient family. And then from then on, they couldn't get rid of us. We did a couple other, Mike did. He always did the speaking at different events. And then, it was to the point where we had a group chat going when Mike was in the hospital. That week, he was in there a week before he passed. And Rachel was, do you need me to come in? No, I'm okay. She came anyway. And you brought treats and made sure we were okay. And that night, the night he passed, I still don't know how you did it. She was flying to Florida, and somehow I came home to all of a pizza joint. Every single pizza was at our house, and my family was fed, and guests that were there, and everybody, they rallied around us, and they still do. And then that became dinner again with them hanging out, and then that became, do you want a job? And that was a no-brainer. I mean, that was an absolutely, because I'm doing what I was doing anyways.
Mm.
And yeah.
Well, and we have an ambassador program that now is named the Mike Umber Ambassador Program that Lori is, sort of revamping and getting off the ground. And so that feels also especially meaningful for somebody who made such an impact on us. And now hopefully more families will get to, feel that impact and also want to give back in his memory. So
That's really great. Yeah. Tell us about the ambassador program.
Yeah, we're slowly working on that one. It's like, it's something that we've all talked about. I just want to make sure that he would be proud of it and that you are proud of it, because this organization means so much to me. So slowly chipping away at what that would look like. But
Cool.
we have a couple ideas going. And yeah, I just want to do him proud. Like, in it, to know him, he's the kindest man. He always said yes to Rachel. She would call, or Jordan, yeah, tell me when and where. I think only one time it was Halloween, physically could not do it. I forget what it was. It was at someone's house, and he was on oxygen, and we just knew he couldn't do the steps. And that was, I don't remember what it was, but I just remember him being so upset that we just couldn't do it.
Right.
And then we got asked to speak at another event 12 days before he passed away. And that, again, was one of it was old Mike back. Some of our friends joined us. We got to have dinner with Rachel, and he was able to speak. I don't know how he did it. I don't know how he did it. But for Rachel, he always said, yeah, say when and where. So I will do my best to honor him.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. Sorry.
I don't know. No. We appreciate you sharing so openly and honestly.
Oh,
It's a
gosh.
wonderful, wonderful story, beautiful testimony.
I think you meet people in this organization, you're lucky enough to be a part of their lives, and they become a part of your life too. And so I think it's always very special. I feel like, the Ummers and your family have been such a impactful part of not only my journey, but also One Day to Remember's journey. And I feel the same about Kate, who had her outing in 2021 with her family. And she's been working. How long have you been working? 2 years?
Working 2 years.
2 years
but,
now.
I mean, right after my outing, I was raising money for One Day to Remember, literally the next day,
Mm.
because it just meant so much to us. And yeah.
Would you mind telling us the story?
Yeah. So I was diagnosed when I was 28 with stage 4 breast cancer. I have twin girls. They were 4, and my son had just turned 3.
Hmm.
So, we were talking earlier a little bit about there wasn't really patient-centered care. Like, everybody wanted to save my life, which I'm thankful for. But, no one talked to me about mental health for my kids, what that was going to look like. And you basically have just mortality thrown right in your face at 28 years old, being told, like, you're going to die within 2 years. The only thing that I could think of was that I needed to pack those years with as many memories as I could. And, we didn't have the funds to go places and do things. So it was really small things at home that we tried to do initially.
Mm-hmm.
And I also found One Day to Remember just scrolling on Instagram. And
Instagram works, people.
yeah. And I just thought it was so special because there wasn't, another program like that out there where they wanted to give us the day to make memories with our family. Also the same as Lori, when I had first talked to, I think, Corinne, I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know. I have no idea, because I almost felt like, which is weird to say, but I felt undeserving.
Yes.
Mhm.
No,
of-
you're, yes.
Of it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Because I don't know. I just didn't feel worthy of it.
there are other
it's
people
really
that need it
hard.
more,
Yeah,
or
which is
we're
weird to
okay.
say as someone, you know, in the trenches,
Mhm.
in treatment, having all these side effects, having all these surgeries. I still felt very unworthy of having a day.
Mm.
Um, and I think when we started our day, I just thought we were going to the zoo, and
Just occurred to me now that you both went to the zoo.
that's okay
I noticed
though.
that. Yeah.
So, and I had been to the zoo with my family before. It's not like we hadn't been
Mm.
to the zoo before. But the day that they planned was, I mean, that was, 5 years ago, and my kids still talk about the entire day. So we got this amazing behind the scenes tour. Rachel knew that I love hippos. I have a hippo fascination.
Hippos are great.
They are. So we got to go behind the scenes with the pygmy hippo Jafar. We got to feed him and pet him.
Wow.
We did a couple other things behind the scenes. The people at the zoo were just amazing. They took such great care of us. We got to see how X-rays work on turtles, and just this it was a different experience than Lori's, but still like just perfectly catered to our family. And got back in the car, had no idea where where we were going or what we were doing. We ended up in Millie's for ice cream. We had never had Millie's before.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Then we went to the point. We took pictures at the point. Um, and then we went up on top of Mount Washington and we ate at Monterey Bay, which is nothing we could have ever afforded on our own. And I just remember sitting there with the kids and I said, if I make it to graduation for the twins, we're going to like relive this whole day.
Yeah.
Because you don't know when you have, advanced cancer year to year, what that's going to look like. And just this past year, my twins graduated.
Huh.
So this summer, we are kind of hoping to finish our one day to remember, because it just was so special to us to have that. And I just immediately was like, this is what I want to do for other families like mine. It just was so special, so personalized, so loving. Um, and it definitely is a gap that is filled that cancer patients need. So I've been hooked since. She can't get rid of me.
It's so wonderful. And it's so nice to hear. It is interesting that the zoos, both of the examples, but it's not surprising, but it's so nice just to hear how neighbors have embraced this mission and really it seems showed up to put on these great events in partnership with you all. And you mentioned some sports teams too. Like I'm just, it's so nice to feel like we're living in a loving neighborhood. People are showing up for each other and you guys are providing an opportunity for that to happen, which is really special.
A testament to the work that we do is people coming back. So we do have ambassadors that we've had for years that help us spread our message because they had such an amazing one day to remember, like Lori and Mike and I and my family, that we want other people to experience that. And Kareem was one of those people. Like he had his one day and he just knew that he wanted to help other people have one too.
Yeah, and I think, knowing Kareem and knowing how much he loved kickball, and, I know they all played with a K on their jerseys this year, Circle K or some version of honoring him on their jersey, and feeling like he had something to do with this. Us winning this beneficiary feels really meaningful to us. He was a very special person in our lives. We're very honored to be. We have an award that's going to be in his memory, hopefully later this year at one of our family events. And he was just a big part of our organization, and we miss him. And so this feels even more meaningful that his family reached out to me and said how happy they were and how happy he would be knowing that it was us this year. And so I think I touched on it earlier, like when people come to us even after or when they're passing, or you know, having the Ooh, I can't look at you. Having the
I'll look away.
opportunity to say goodbye and to have an impact on these families is really special. And so it just feels like it keeps, I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know what I'm trying to
It's
say.
very bittersweet.
Beautiful and heartbreaking.
Mhm.
Sure.
Tragic, beautiful and tragic, whatever the words are.
Yeah. Um, it'll mean a lot to our organization, the PSL team, and to the PSL, community. Kareem is someone who people still to this day speak very fondly of. He made a big impact in the lives of our team and the people that he encountered, in the leagues as well. So we are so grateful to have that connection, and for that to be an added element of this partnership is just so wonderful. And I think a testament to the work you all do. It showed up in his life. He dedicated his own time, and you're still doing that for so many people. Now it just feels like the right. Sometimes the universe seems to align things, and we just couldn't be more happy that this year we get to work together on this stuff. So
Yes, we're always looking for more partners, but we definitely have such a beautiful community. Like I said, it takes a village, and ours is quite extensive. And we're very lucky.
Even getting to know Lori, I met Lori and Mike at One Bite, um, and got to hear Mike talk. And I told Lori, I was like, "We're best friends now.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
We're
Yeah.
best friends."
She sat down. Hi.
Yeah.
I spoke a couple years ago. I'm like, hello. Mike was like, oh, I remember him being like, no, who is this?
A new friend. And I fell in love with Lori and Mike there, and you know, just was able to see Mike throughout the years at different One Bite events, and now working with Lori, like that is just a blessing as well. And it's just that other added layer for our families to be able to connect with each other, because even if their outing is over, that doesn't mean that their time with us is done, because they still need support, they still need love and encouragement, and we want to be able to give that to them.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, and one that we talk about internally all the time is that, you know, sometimes cancer can feel so isolating. And so, how do we bring that into a community like One Day to Remember? We have an online community that Lori and Kate run, for our families to join on Facebook. We now have joy projects that, our community is making keychains and bracelets. I have a Lori Ummer special right here.
Oh yeah.
It says One Day.
That's cool.
And there's also coloring pages that we've been in kids' schools, and we have volunteer opportunities for corporate things and whatever else, but they create these joy gifts for our families just so that they don't feel like they're alone. What we haven't mentioned yet is every family gets a welcome box. And so that includes the joy projects, but it also includes our Bo the Bear, who's our mascot. I don't know if anybody has a
I
Bo anywhere.
meant
We have
to.
no
My
Bo.
kids don't give him up
Um,
easily. They don't. Yeah.
Beloved, Blow is
They still,
beloved.
yeah, they still sleep with Bo Bear. Yep.
yes, my daughter has a few that float around.
Yeah.
So Bo the Bear is a big part of our community. And then they also get a legacy project, which is a plexiglass that each family member puts their handprint on. And so I know Lori, it sits on your
Sits like in our kitchen on our windowsill, and just a reminder of Mike and that day. And sorry.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. But
I'm
yeah,
gonna
like
finish your sentence because the other day you told us that the boys go and put their handprint on Mike's handprint now.
Aw.
And yeah, I yelled, don't
And
touch it.
Oh,
and we started doing this project a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. Anyways, a year or two ago, and I think it just really has a lot of meaning for us as an organization. The families keep one, and then they send one back, so that we can sort of be a part of their legacy as well. But also, they get to see their legacy at home. I think it's meaningful for people that are still in it and those that have lost, because it's just a reminder of who they are and what experience they had together. And then Jordan mentioned earlier that we always send a professional photographer with our families, and each family gets a professional photo album that we send to the families. So it's really, we have a lot of concrete things from those memories that they get to make together.
And the journal.
The journals.
That's something that I use.
That's in the welcome box.
That's in the welcome box, and the boys all got one to like fill out with what that day was for them. Even for like little Mikey, who was 3 at the time, he remembers bits and pieces of the zoo. But looking at the photo album and having that journal and having the boys write in it helps us remember it and helps me get my thoughts out. So I do use that for my own self. Yeah.
That's great.
Mhm.
I want to talk about One Bite. It's been mentioned a couple times.
Yay.
Yeah, tell us
Yeah,
about it.
so One Bite is happening on October 8th. It's going to be at Rockwell Park this year. This is our 9th annual One Bite One Day event. But we are going to be celebrating our 10th birthday as an organization
Yeah,
at the event, which feels like a huge milestone.
congratulations.
Thank you.
It
After
is.
just completing our 800th outing, like we feel like this is
Wow.
going to be a big year at One Bite. So the event is we bring together about 25 to 30 different chefs and bartenders that create a one bite, and a cocktail pairing at each station. And it's sort of like a strolling dinner. We have a big silent auction. There's live music. Well, there's a DJ and maybe some live music. We'll see.
TBD. Yeah.
Yeah, TBD. If
Come
anybody
to the
wants
event
to.
and you'll find out. You know what I mean?
Yes. But it's really a special event in itself. And I think this year will be even more special with our 10-year walk down memory lane. Yeah, we'd love for you to join us. Obviously, we have Kickball for a Cause first, which is on it's on August 8th.
Yeah, coming up.
And we obviously want to see you all there. But yes, October 8th at Rockwell Park. Tickets are on sale now. Sponsorships are available now. And anybody who wants to donate anything for the silent auction, we always are
Great.
looking for more
Mhm.
partners for all of those things.
Wonderful. We'll make sure it's linked up so people can just like click and get right to it.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to share about that day or that event?
I think One Bite is definitely a one of a kind event. The
Yeah.
first year that I went and I spoke there, I just was smitten with the atmosphere. The food is delicious. It's definitely, like a premier foodie event. Like if you even if you don't love food, but who doesn't love food? My husband, it's his favorite event. He has never missed one of them. It just is such a great time to be able to sample food from across Pittsburgh, different places, things that maybe you would never eat. One year I got to watch someone make mozzarella like
Ooh.
right in front of me.
Cool.
It was amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I think, again, the community that supports us, like the culinary community and the industry, the food industry, the food and beverage industry in Pittsburgh has been such an amazing partner for us for this event, and all of the chef and owners come. So it's really cool to get to interact with people that you wouldn't normally see. And it's awesome for us to have that support throughout that event.
Yeah, Mike loved that event. Loves that. Loved that event. Yeah.
Sounds like a great time. So, what are other ways people who want to get involved with you guys can support the work you're doing, get plugged in, be directly supportive?
There's so many ways to help get involved with One Day to Remember. I know we've talked about a few of them,
Yep.
but in order to make these outings what they are, not just a normal trip to the zoo or a normal trip to a restaurant, we could not do that without partners in the community. So if anybody has any connections to any kind of experience around Pittsburgh or even nationally that they think would help would be great. But it doesn't even have to be on that scale. We love going and talking to kids about how they can support their friends with coloring pages or making bracelets or keychains. And then we also have events for volunteers to help put welcome boxes together. And then just even partners like you guys, like we could not keep going if it wasn't for, organizations that get together to also help raise money for us.
Mm. Well, we are absolutely honored to have the chance to work with you guys, and it's so nice to have the chance to shine a light on the work you're doing. We're thrilled to have you at Kickball for a Cause. Feels like the right thing to do to thank the sponsors for that tournament who have stepped up as well. People's Gas and TQL have already signed up to sponsor. So it's improving our ability to invest in you guys. Tournament sold out like
Oh,
almost immediately.
wow.
So we're thrilled and definitely will be encouraging folks that are there that day to stop by and see you at the table and say
We'll be there.
hello and all of that. And just really excited, about all of that. We're still accepting sponsors for the event as well. Sponsorship for Kickball for a Cause goes to the cause, to the beneficiary. So we're thrilled to have the chance to work with you guys. Can't wait to see you on the 8th and maybe see you in October as well,
Yeah.
October the 8th. So
Yeah,
it's a couple
yeah.
months,
so yes.
it's a couple months
Yeah.
later down the line. If I can make it, I certainly will.
Yeah, we would love to have
Yeah.
Love to be there and check it out. It sounds like such a unique event to your point. And Rockwell Park, really nice. It's really nice over
you. It's
there.
very cool.
Yeah.
It's like a very industrial space. We're lucky to
brick
be
and
working with
beams
Lux
and-
Creative on the event.
That'd be nice.
Martin is awesome and really helping us curate this special 10-year milestone for us. So it'll be very special. And
We'll make sure that the link specifically to that is in the show notes, as they say, or wherever we blast it out. Well, we encourage people to follow along, to engage, to share, to signal boost, all of that stuff. We'll be sharing this out across platforms and appreciate people sharing it as well. Thank you guys so much for your time. No one has brought more people to one of these videos, but it's just so clear that it's a wonderful team. It is a team effort.
yes.
It's growing, it's vibrant, it's continuing to evolve. Thank you guys so much for the work that you do in our community and around the nation, which is super exciting. That's really wonderful growth to see. We'll see you on the 8th of August
Yes.
and
yes,
then-
we will be there.
and then moving forward. Thanks so much for checking out this video. We'll see you next time.